Hello friends, welcome back to the 14th day of live art. This is Priya from Priya Arts Art Studio where I teach art for all ages. I hope everybody is staying safe and all of your drawings are so wonderful, so beautiful. Keep sending me all of your artworks. I love seeing all of them. So are you ready today to do the art? We need pencil, eraser, oil pastels, paper. If you don't have oil pastels, you can have crayons or color pencil to do the same kind of art. We also need a ruler. Okay? So now I have Kavya and Ovia here to draw with me. Hi Kavin. Hi Radhika. Hi Usha. I'm good. How are you? Good to see you all. Hi Meghna and Anjali. Welcome back. So, hi Shubha. Today we are going to do an animal and the clues are going to be very tough. So let's see who finds what we are going to draw today. The clues are going to be tough. So listen to the clues very carefully. Hi Harshini, welcome. So today we are going to do an animal which can turn its ear for 180 degrees. Hi Sheetal, hi Shriyans, hi Adit, hi Anubhav, hello. So we are going to draw an animal which can turn its ear 180 degrees, that's a half circle. A wolf is not the right answer. Kavin, not an owl. Shubha, not an elephant. Sheetal, this is an animal which, it's not a wolf. Shubha, so there's going to be another clue. This animal can sweat only through its paws. It's not owl Harshini, it's an animal. It can sweat only through its paws. Not bunnies, Naga, not owl Ishi, not a lion Sheetal, not owl Diya, not a hippo. It's a small animal. It's not rabbit. It can turn its ears 180 degrees and sweats through its paws. It's not a bear. It's not a pony. And the next clue is dog, very close, Usha. So it can jump through big heights without breaking its bones. Not a bear, not a dog, not a hamster. Kitten, Naga, you have the right answer. Not a rabbit or raccoon. Hi Neha, good to see you. It's not a dog, Kavin. Yeah, kitten is the right answer, Kavin. Very close, Adit. It's not a dog. So we are going to do a kitty cat. It's a cat, that's the right answer. Cat is the right answer. Ishi, Diya, Pragya. That's Pragya, it's not a dog. Yeah, Kavin, it's a kitten. So we are going to do a kitty cat. That's right, Kanish. It's not a fox. Adit, that's right, cat. Namrata, kitten is the right answer. Radhika, good job. Okay, so we are going to do a kitty cat. A kitty cat is an animal which can sleep for so many hours. It sleeps for so many hours. Thanks for drawing my request. Yash, Ash, that's for you. Ash and Kavin requested for kitty cat. So we are doing that today. And kitty cats, 1 year of kitty cat is equal to 15 years in human years. So it gets old very fast. Also, kitty cat have good sense of smell. It can't taste the sweetness though. So cats are not attracted to chocolates or sweets because they cannot sense the sweetness. So these are some fun facts. And also, if you have a kitty cat at home, so I'm focusing a little bit on my paper. We are going to draw a kitty cat hanging on a branch. So let's find out the center of the paper. It's good to have your paper in a vertical position because we are going to have a vertical kitty cat. Let's mark the center of the paper. So I have a dot in the center. From there, we're going to measure 10 centimeters at the top from the center, 10 centimeters at the top and 15 centimeters at the bottom. So I have 3 dots here, a center dot, 10 centimeters at the top and 15 centimeters at the bottom.
Whoa. So you do 10 centimeters from the top and 15?
Yeah.
Oh.
So 10 centimeters at the top and 15 centimeters at the bottom. It's lagging. Yeah, Kavin, there is a bit of lag when I talk and when it comes to you. I think that's how it works. Sorry about that. So we have 10 centimeters at the top and 20 centimeters at the bottom. Can I participate? Yeah, Danny, you can participate too. Can you wait? Yeah, Dia, I'll wait for you here. So we only had the 3 initial dots. Can you say the measurements again? Radhika, yes, we have a center dot. We have 10 centimeters at the top and 15 centimeters at the bottom. And from the middle, I have 7 centimeters on both sides. Seven centimeters from the center. Okay, so now we have our measurements. Shall we start drawing?
Yes.
So we have 3 dots in the center. We are going to connect these 3 dots and we are going to have a branch in the middle. So I'm going to start. You can have a shorter branch or a lengthier branch. I'm going to start from the very left all the way to the right. So it's going to cover the dot from upper side. It doesn't have to be a straight line. So I just have a branch like that. I'm going to have a double line for my branch. So it's gonna go like that. And I have the branch split into 2 at the end. Okay, so I'm just covering the entire paper with a branch. So when we are doing the drawing, we always start with the pencil and not with the pastel. We need to keep that in mind all the time, so that it's easier for us to erase even if we make mistakes. So I'm using oil pastels so that you all can look at that clearly. But please start with pencils when you're doing the drawing, which is always easier. Also, we need a very light sketch when we are doing the drawing. We don't want to do a lot of pressure when doing with our pencils. So we are doing a very light sketch. So now we have the two dots on the other ends and a dot at the top. We are going to connect them with a semicircle. So when we are doing a circle, we are going to make it very, very light. Very light. So I'm going to connect these dots.
That's a big face.
Okay?
Wait a minute, that's
Can you wait? Yeah, Pragya, I'll wait for you here. So we just connected these three dots, the one at the very top, the topmost one, and the two dots on the side. Harshini, yeah, I'm waiting here. So we are making the circle very, very lightly with the pencil because that's going to be far outside the circle. Okay? So after this, we are going to have 2 ears on the two sides of the head. What's the size of your paper? Adit, I have a really big paper, 18 by 20. I'm hoping you have something like 11 by 14 or an A4 size. So you can have your measurements according to that. So I have a very big paper. So I'm going to extend my ears a little bit inside. Yeah, Dia, I'll wait for you. So I've extended the ear a little bit here. So we only have a rough outline for our head and both the ears. Okay. So now we're going to have the front paws here at both the edges of the circle. So from the middle, I'm going to make a tiny inverted U. That's going to be a front paws. Okay? So we have two tiny semicircle on both the edges of this head. And we are going to have tiny little fingers inside. So I have 4 tiny fingers in the paw. So you can erase the lines in between if you want. The lines which is going inside the paws, you can erase them if you want. Okay? So now we have the very bottom dot. Pragya, can you please wait? Yeah, I'll wait here, Pragya. So we have the paws rested on the branch till now. There is a big head joining the top dot with 2 ears on the side, and then we have the tiny little paws at the edge of the ending of this curve on both sides, and then we had the tiny toe fingers. Okay, so now at the very bottom, we have a bot at the very bottom. We are going to make a shallow curve at the bottom. So I'm going to make a shallow curve. Touching the bottom dot. Okay. And then below the front paws, that's going to be the extension of its paw. Right there, there is a curve right underneath the paw. And we are going to do the same kind of extension on the other side. Just from the middle of the paw, we have two curves just like that, like a hook on both sides.
Please slow down.
And there is a part of the belly like that. Tiny lines on both sides. Now we are going to do the other two legs. We are going to do two legs in between these two gaps. Can you wait? Yeah, Smriti, I'll wait for you here. So we just made these two curves like hooks and tiny tummy lines. So the other two legs are going to be in this space. So at the bottom of this line, there's going to be a bigger curve like a inverted U. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Yeah, Ishi and Pragya, I'll wait for you. So we are almost done with this cat. It only needs two toes and the tail. So we have two inverted U's. And we're going to do a curve right on at the bottom on the edges of these curves. So be prepared for that. So I'm going to do a curve on this edge and the other edge. So there are two U's on both sides. Okay? Then we have the other two paws. So we are going to do in between this gap. So this paw is going to be connecting both these areas and have a curvy line like that connected with the toe fingers. Okay. We are going to do the same kind of toes on the other side. So we are going to do a same kind of curvy line there connected with the toe fingers. Can you tell what you did for the paws again? So we have this line connecting both the curves, Harshini, and then there is a parallel line which is exactly the same like the previous one. We are connecting the two parallel lines with the curve at the bottom and the toe finger at the top. So we did the same kind of thing on the other side as well. Dia and Kirti, yeah, I'll wait for you. Okay, so we had an inverted U here and then a smaller U at the bottom connecting the very big curve. So we have both the toes at the end. The toe has two parallel lines with a U connecting with a U at the bottom and the toe fingers on top. So now for the tail. So we have a fluffy tail at the bottom. The only thing left here is the eyes, nose, and the tiny mouth. So if you're done with the tail here, we're going to do the eyes, nose, and mouth.
And I'm done.
So we had a fluffy tail at the bottom. Now for the eyes, I'm going to have big round eyes in the middle of the face. The end of the eye is going to be little pointy, just like that. So we are going to have this pointy ends for the eyes. There is an inverted triangular nose in the middle of the eyes. Yeah, Pragya, I'll wait for you. So we only did the big round eyes with the pointy corner and the inverted triangular nose. The smile is missing here. So we will be doing two tiny curves at the bottom. Okay? And there's going to be a tiny curve at the bottom. Nice drawing. Thanks, Adit. I hope yours is coming out good too. So now that we are done with the kitty cat, we are going to do some leaves on the branches. So I'm going to do some leaves on the branches. The cat looks angry. Harshini, yeah, maybe after we color it, it might look different. Hi Kirti, I'll wait for you. Thank you, Naga. We're just going to add some leaves on the branches. So you can add some leaves. So I'm going to add more leaves at the bottom of the branch. So I'm going to make some leaves, falling leaves at the bottom here. So some leaves are going to be just free. Okay, so now for the coloring. So we're going to pick up our oil pastels. I'm going to do a light orange, yellow ochre and white kitty. So if you are picking up any other colors, make sure you have one medium color, one light color and top it with white. So if you are picking something else like pink, you can do light pink and a dark pink, or light green and a medium green, light blue and a medium blue. So we don't want to use very dark color at the ends. Smriti, yeah, I'm waiting here. So we don't want to do very dark lines, but if that is the only option you have, you can just go for it. Kirti, I haven't started coloring yet, so I'm picking light orange and yellow ochre for the kitty. Sheetal, I'm picking yellow ochre and light orange. Harshini, yeah. So if you're picking any other colors, make sure you have one medium color and one light color along with white. What colors are you using? Diya, I'm using light orange and yellow ochre. So we always start with the dark color. So we need to hold our pastels away from the paper like we are holding the knife, not like a pencil. We are not holding it pointed ways. We are holding it sideways. And I'm going to start coloring on the edges of the kitty cat. And then we are going with the lighter colors inside so that we can blend them later. We also need white inside. So to start with, I'm going to do light orange on the sides. So on the edges, we're going to do furry lines. So I'm going to make lines at the edges. So we are not coloring it completely. I'm going to make lines at the edges. So it could be just rough ended lines. It doesn't have to be inside the circle because we are doing tiny pointy fur like lines. So in the edges, I'm just making lines. So it doesn't have to be straight. It doesn't have to have smooth edges. Just make sure you don't have so much of white space in between. I'm just having the lines crowded, very close to each other. What colors are you using? Anya, I'm using light orange and yellow ochre. So I'm starting with light orange here. So I'm going to go all the way in its body in a similar way. The edges are going to be rough like that because I want to show the furry lines in its body and its legs, on top of the head. So making this line-like structures all the way in the ends. I'm just continuing that. Rough edge along the border. So I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom here. So I'm continuing that all the way in the bottom. And half of the tail is going to have those furry edges too. So if you can see, I only did half of the tail. Next class, dog, please. White dog. Kirti, I'll have that in mind. We'll surely do all of your requests. Okay, so now we have the edges covered. So I'm going to do the toes and the ears just in the middle.
Wait for me.
Yeah. So just in the middle of the toes and the middle of the ears. You're not going to cover that entirely. So I'm going to make this orange patch in between. So if you have picked any other color, any other combination of colors.
Can I make a pink patch? Because you usually have pink patches.
Yeah. So if you have picked any other color, do the same color that you picked for the body inside the toes. We are going to go a little thicker when we are doing the insides. And I'm doing the same thing inside the ears. So we are not covering completely because we need to blend them with a lighter color. So we are just doing the inner ears. Okay, so now for the lighter color. So I'm picking yellow ochre to go along with that. So if you have picked any other darker colors, pick the similar lighter color to go with it. And we also need white to do it inside. So the next layer is going to be our lighter color. So I picked yellow ochre to do that. But we are not going to cover the middle portion. We are just going to leave it like that for white. So that the belly and the head it's gonna have some shine in it. So when we are mixing with the dark color, I'm going little on top of the orange so that it blends well. So this time we are not doing lines. We are going to blend them well. And make sure you're keeping the palm and fingers away from the paper. We don't want to smudge our artwork. So this is going in a circle. So I'm leaving some space inside the head. So where white is going to be there. So I just have this yellow ochre inside. Same thing at its body. I'm going on top of the orange to make it blend. So we need to blend them well. Along the sides. It's getting nicely blended without any white lines, white spaces. So I'm going to do the bottom now in the same way. We need to blend with the darker colors. We need to go on top of the darker color to do a good blending. So nice and smooth. So I'm just covering all the white spots left. On the other side as well. We're not doing the paws yet. So I'm just covering the body first. With a little bit of white left in the middle. So I'm covering the edges very well with applying a lot of pressure. So we are covering the corners very well. So we have this white part inside though. So if you have too much space like me on the outer side, you can go with lighter color on top of it to cover that area. So I'm using yellow to do that so that I blend them very well along with those orangey lines. I don't want to have that spacey lines. So if you have used any other color, you can even use white to blend. So if you see here, you can see the difference from this area to the other side. This has a lot of white spaces on the corners. So I'm just covering them with yellow on top. Just a little bit of yellow so that it's not very spacey, very spaced out, and also gets blended well. So when I'm doing the edges, I'm doing a little bit of lines like we did our fur. instead of blending them completely, so that we can maintain our texture there. Okay. Okay. So now for the tail. So we have the bottom of the tail. So we need to blend with orange. If you have picked any other color, blend with the darker color. And do the remaining. What color are you using? I'm using yellow ochre Hashini. So I'm using light orange with yellow ochre. So now for the white. So I'm going to do white in the middle, blending a little bit with yellow ochre. So the third layer is going to be white. The belly of the kitten is going to be white. The inside of the face is going to be white. So we need to go a little on top of yellow ochre so that our white has a little tinge of it inside. Okay, so I have nice blended white and yellow ochre. So the advantage of pressing little harder is it gets blended on its own. I'm going to do the same thing in its face, around the eyes, around the nose, around the lips. So I'm going to do a little blending with yellow ochre and white. Okay, so now we covered the face, and the face has a little tinge of yellow ochre because I blended the white with the lighter color. Okay, so now we have these regions, the ears, the front paws and the back paws. What brand of oil pastels are you using, Meghna? So Meghna, I'm using this Louis Cornell. This is what I'm using here. You can do any oil pastels. It's gonna work just the same way. Doing the white just around the yellow color, or are you doing it in the middle of the body? Harshini, I'm doing it in the middle of the body as well as I'm doing it the middle of the face. I'm also going to use white on its paws, ear and the toes down there. So we are going to cover this area, the left out area, with white while blending with the orange here. So I went a little bit on top of the orange so that it blends very well. We're going to do the same thing on the other ear. So the only left out areas are the paws here. So I'm going to cover this paw. So if you have pencil marks inside the paw, you can just erase them and cover it with white, or you can use a little bit of yellow there. Meghna, you're welcome. So the paws are going to be white. It doesn't have to be completely white. You can have a tinge of yellow in it. So we are doing the same thing in the bottom, on its toe. When there is a dark color, we always blend with the dark color. So I'm going a little on top of the orange so that it blends well. So I'm blending that with white. Okay. What color are you using? Sheetal, I'm using just white for blending all of the paws and the ears. So I'm just using white for that. So since we are going on top of the orange, it has that orangey hue to the white. Okay. So we are almost done with the kitty cat. We have the eyes left, the nose and the mouth. So I'm going to use pink nose here. Let's come back to the eyes at the end because eyes are going to be black and we need to be very careful with using black. So let's do the nose first. So that's pinkish nose. With pinkish tongue at the bottom. So we are going to cover that completely. Light pink or dark pink. I'm using a medium pink, Harshini. It's not very light. Yeah, maybe it's this dark pink. And we are going to do the curves with red. Okay. So let's come back to the eyes later. We are going to do the branches and the leaves first. So I'm going to do brown and white branch. So it's going to be half brown blended with white. Can you zoom in? Yeah. So here's how the nose looks. Okay. So we're going to have double shaded branch. Brown with white. So I'm going to continue this branch. We need to be very careful when doing the middle part because it's in the middle of its face. We don't want to mess anything in the kitty cat's face with a tiny branch. So we need to go very slow with the branches. Okay, so I'm giving a tiny bit of, since it's in the middle, I'm giving a tiny edge of brown. Light brown or dark brown? Srinivas, I'm using a light brown. It's not too dark. So the light brown with white. So we have the brown at the top, blended with white. So we have this double colored branch. Okay. So we have some highlights on the branch. What color are you using? Adit, I'm using brown with white for the branch. So then for the leaves, we can do light and dark green. Or if you have just one green, you can do white with green. So you can always use white to make any color lighter. So I'm going to give a little shade with dark green on one side for the leaves, combined with the light green. You can also use white to make it lighter. So I'm just covering all the leaves with light and dark green. So we can use either yellow or white for an extra highlight if you want. So I'm just using these two colors for the leaves. So there are a lot of leaves here. So when we are doing double colors, make sure you are blending that well. We always use dark color first and then use the lighter color to blend with. So whenever both colors are meeting, we need to go a little on top of it, and that's when it gets blended well. So we are almost done with the leaves. Okay. Now the leaves are done. So all the leaves are done here. We are going to add some highlights to the kitty cat before going to the eyes. So I'm going to highlight some areas here, like the paws. So it's going to have some brown outline, light brown. So I'm going to highlight some of these areas. Since we blended everything together, so I'm going to highlight the paws here, the ears with brown, the edges of the ears, and then we had this tiny curve at the bottom on both sides. So I'm going to highlight that.
Brown does not match with purple.
Yeah, it should match. Brown should go well with all the colors. So I'm going to highlight the bottom toes.
What about the tail?
So we just Are you tracing the ears with brown? Yeah, Harshini, I'm using light brown to go on top of the ears and the toes. I'm also going to have a little bit of highlight in this area and its belly here. So it's a little shaded area. So we are doing the same thing on the other side. Just underneath the front hands. Brown, not brown. Oh yeah, Harshini, that's a typo. That's okay. I can get that. Okay. So I'm going to highlight a little portion of the tail here. Not the entire tail, just on the sides. I'm going to add some highlights on top of the tail so that it looks a little, it has some little shadow on the tail. So with brown, so I made a little shadow on the tail. So I'm also going to add tiny bit of brown on top of the head. Okay. So now for the eyes. So we need to be very careful with the eyes because the eyes are black. We kept the black for the last because black makes big messes and we don't want to mess up anything. We need to be very, very careful with black. So I'm going to do the outline of the eyes. Make sure you're not keeping the palm and fingers inside the paper. So we had this pointy edge too. So we are going to cover that pointy edge as well with black. Be very, very careful when doing the edges. We don't want to mess up anything here. We need to be very slow and careful when doing the edges. Okay. We are also doing the pointy edges. Like that. The inside is going to have a highlight of white. So I'm going to leave that highlight and do a tiny circle, leaving that edge and covering that inside with black. So I'll zoom it for you and show that closer. So this is how I have that highlighted eye. We're going to do another eye here with the same kind of highlight. It's tiny, round. So if you accidentally covered that highlight, don't worry about that. You can use white and highlight that area a little more. So now we have the inner eye. So if you accidentally cover that area, you can have a little highlight there. And with white. So that's the white portion. Okay. Okay. So this is how our kitty cat looks. A shark, please. Yeah, Shreyansh, I'll keep that in mind. So now we are done with our cool kitty cat. So if you want, you can have a butterfly on top. Do you want to do a butterfly? So use a pencil if you want to do a butterfly. So that's going to be tiny feathers and one bottom. So I'm going to cover that. And that's going to be a body for the butterfly. So if you want to do a butterfly, you can use pencil first and then color it. So I have a body here with 3 feathers. Sorry, wings. So you can have any colored butterfly with 2 antennas at the top. So you can have any colored butterfly. So I have red and pink. So mine is going to be so reddish and pinkish. Okay. Dragon, please. Yeah, Kanish. Owl, please. Harshini, yeah, I have everything in mind. So we will do it one by one. You can go ahead and do our artistic signature at the bottom. So now we have a big-eyed kitty cat with a butterfly on top. So it's hanging on its branch. Let's see what Kavya and Ovia. Woo, that's a big eye. Let's see Kavya's purple kitty cat. Wow, good job, girls. So I hope everybody enjoyed today's artwork. This is for Ash and Kavin. Yeah, so they both requested for kitty cat. So this is for you. I have all of your requests. We will be doing it one by one. I hope everybody enjoyed today's class. So see you on Thursday at 4 p.m. Don't forget to send all of your artworks. I would love to see all your artworks. And also don't forget to comment your requests. Whatever you want to draw next, you can comment that below and we will be doing that one by one. See you in the next class on Thursday at 4 p.m. Don't forget to submit your pictures. Bye. See ya.